Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and in this episode, we're talking about multiplying your confidence. Now, it shouldn't be really something that I need to explain why it is important to multiply your confidence, because I'm going to guess you know why. But it's always nice to get a little bit of incentive to our unconscious mind. So when we think about our confidence, the confidence is going to be the thing that allows us to take action, to achieve our dreams, to get the self-certainty. Confidence is a feeling. Now, feelings are usually decided by our beliefs and our thoughts. So in this episode, we are going to be considering new ideas and thoughts to multiply your confidence by fueling the confidence. Because confidence can come and go, it's energy. It's very hard sometimes to always be in that heightened state. Just like having motivation all the time, it can be done when you get the right tools and the right mindsets. But it's so much easier when you let go of the resistance in your mind that gets in the way of your confidence. So when we're talking about confidence, we're thinking of new ways and ideas to expand it, to develop it, to resolve the things that are getting in our way. Now, before we get into today's content, I've got something for you, which is an exciting opportunity, which is happening on the 20th and the 21st of November. It is the Unlimited Confidence Virtual Seminar. Go to josephclough.info/event and you can attend with me on a life-changing experience to really reclaim the confidence, the self-belief, to resolve the past that no longer serves you. We do a lot of that. Letting go of the anger, the sadness, the fear, the guilt, the hurt, to install the unconscious belief systems that we need to be able to achieve the results that we want. Which means you will be able to leave the event with that untapped, unlimited confidence, and it will allow you to wake up every day feeling liberated, feeling confident, and that just means when you show up at your work, you feel good and great. When you're in your business, you're getting more clients and customers and so on. With your relationships, you are strengthening yourself. You are being of value within. And to me, when you get that confidence, it means you are absolutely free of the resistance that is getting in your way. And the great thing about this event, well, there's a couple of things. Not only are you going to be able to receive all the powerful, crazy benefits of finally being free of the worries, the doubts, the fears, and the anxieties and getting the confidence, but you do it in the comfort of your own home because it is a virtual event, which means we've done it at such a low investment of just $97 for a whole weekend. That's like 16 hours of life-changing information and unconscious transformation to be able to get your mind in the right place. So go to josephclough.info/event and embark on that journey with me so I can support you and get you to where you desire. And I always say, where you deserve to be. josephclough.info/event. Now, as I said, talking about confidence, we want to get into the mindset of the confidence multiplier. Let's break this down for a moment. When you think of what confidence is based on the evidence that we have about ourselves. You ever heard of what fear stands for? There's a couple of meanings. You can say forget everything and run. We don't want that one. But they also say false evidence appearing real. FEAR. False evidence appearing real. Now let's get back to the E in the fear, which is the evidence. You see, the evidence that we have will be dictated by what? It will be dictated by our experience. Okay, so our past experience will cause us to feel like, well, this is the evidence as to why I should be unconfident. This is the evidence why I'm not enough. This is the evidence why I cannot achieve my desires, my dreams, my financial goals, my career goals. Because our previous evidence has led to a perception. It's led to a belief system. And then that belief system will formulate the lack of confidence. The beliefs dictate your capacity dictates your behavior. Then that shows up in the real world and how the results you get, and it's a feedback loop to that identity, that evidence. So we're talking about evidence right now. Most people are just geared by their past evidence, and that means we feel stuck and we feel lost in becoming the person we truly desire to be. Makes sense, right? It is false evidence appearing real. So if our unconscious mind is looking for false evidence, what should we do consciously? If our unconscious mind is looking for false evidence, what should we do consciously to try to counteract that? Well, we should probably look for other evidence to break that belief, to consider things. Now, one of the small tips that I'd like to give you, and it's something that I actually include in, it's just a small piece of foundation work when it comes to my premium program. And my premium program, of course, is not for everyone. In fact, we only want to work with the right people, and that's why we're very selective. We only want to work with people who are super energy motivated, career driven, and really want to be able to let go of the imposter syndrome and do whatever it takes to get there, to let it go within 8 weeks. But it's a part of that program, very little bit, and it's one thing that I like to call my qualities. You see, if your unconscious mind is seeking out the evidence of the past where maybe you didn't win, you didn't succeed, you had that failure, so-called failure, you had those experiences where someone said this, done this, and it caused you to have an interaction with your unconscious mind, an interpretation of who you are in this world, we've got to look for the counter evidence. And that leads into my qualities. Your job, your goal consciously. And look, we're not talking about unconscious processes here. That's for the seminar of my higher premium program. But we are talking about getting your mind in the right place. So I always like you to consider, what are your qualities? And you might say to me, Joseph, I have no qualities. I am not good enough. I am not of value. I feel like an imposter. Despite being in a career, despite being in a business, despite being fill in the blank. Even on paper, it could be like my relationship, the person loves me, but on the inside, I just don't have those qualities. Well, you're wrong. And yet that might push up against your boundaries, but you are. Ultimately you are, because you're just looking at the false evidence appearing real. You have to go on a journey of change by deciding and declaring what your qualities are. And when you say you do not have any, that is a myth, that is an illusion based on our past. Now, I'm gonna guess if you're here right now, you are seeking to improve yourself. Otherwise, you'd have just not got to this part. So would it be true and correct that maybe a good quality is to learn to help yourself? Right? Spending the time and attention to learn to better yourself. I would say that's a good quality. I've said this before, not many people will do that. Not many people, they will just feel stuck and they'll feel lost and they'll stay that way and they'll be asleep and sedated by their experience. But no, you're different. You are different because you're here. And that means you have the quality of personal development and growth. So write that down. What other qualities may you have? I don't know, maybe if you own a pet, maybe you're a good pet owner. You look after them, you feed them, you take them for walks and you play with them. That's a great quality we don't even think about sometimes. We're in charge of life. And it could obviously be children. It could be our family. Are you a good friend? Are you? Are you there sometimes for your friends? Are you willing to comfort, support? Have you ever recommended someone, even like my podcast or app, to help them? Well, if you have done any of those things, guess what? That's a quality. Write that down. Now, the reason why I want you to look at your qualities in a metaphor, in an analogy, is if we're building a table. Now, a table is not a table, sounds silly, when it has no legs, right? What is a table with no legs? Sounds like a joke. Well, really, it's just a tabletop, and it's not even a tabletop because it's just a piece of wood, right? It's like a plank of wood almost. So when we think about it, what allows it to become a table? Obviously, the legs. Now, if we take this analogy, what props up the belief table, right? Now let's just put the belief table on that top level. That tabletop is now called a belief table. Well, we've got to prop it up with the legs, and the legs are going to be things like your qualities. So maybe one of the legs is going to be writing down all the qualities you have about yourself. And you'll be surprised because after a while, even if you do this every single day, you go, I'm going to commit. I know it's a long time of transformation compared to doing like the premium program and things like that, but I'm going to commit to doing 2 qualities every single day. Just write down 2 qualities at least. And I'm sure that level of qualities will continue to build and expand, because another reason why is when you put your attention there, your unconscious mind goes there. Wherever energy flows, wherever attention goes, the energy flows. Whatever you put your conscious mind set to, your unconscious mind is a goal-getter. So you're the setter, your unconscious mind is a goal-getter. So once you start to have a fixation of your qualities and understanding, discovering them, and usually in society, we are taught not to think about our qualities because it's selfish, it's egotistical, and it is terribly wrong as a mindset. You have to know who you are. In order to know who you are, you must have self-reflection and understand the qualities. It's okay. You're a good person in my mind. In my eyes, my mind, you are a good and great person. So write down those qualities, and that will start to cause your unconscious mind to look for more. So we've got a leg or 2 to build on that table, and it's not quite a true table yet. We've only got 1 or 2 legs by building up our qualities. Well, what else do we do? Well, we look for other evidence of maybe the wins that you've had. I really like to think you can celebrate yourself. Goes on the qualities. Let's keep celebrating. In fact, in my program, I'm talking about a bit, but when we get on our group coaching calls, we celebrate it. We celebrate each other's wins, whether it be the financial success, whether it be the promotion, whether it be the liberation of being free of the imposter syndrome, all of those things, you begin to look for more. So look for your celebrations, no matter how big, no matter how small, throughout your past. What we're doing here, we're looking for the evidence. We're looking for the evidence because remember, the unconscious mind has the fear acronym of false evidence appearing real. We are now looking for the true evidence to appear real to our unconscious mind. So what have you done which has been good? We rarely look at ourselves in the qualities or in our celebrations. Some things that we've done in our life we think are normal or natural, but ultimately they are good wins. You're alive. That's a win in my world. Maybe you've moved country, maybe you've moved yourself from a toxic relationship, maybe you have a dream and a desire, maybe you've hit some goals, maybe you succeeded in college, maybe you dropped out but still succeeded in another endeavor. That is a win for me. Look for that celebration, because that is the evidence which is going to be counter to the false evidence showing up. So when you start to look at your qualities, and by the way, if you struggle with your finding your qualities or even your celebrations, a quick idea is just getting out your own way. because you're too stuck in where you are. How do you get out of your own way? Look through the eyes of someone who likes or loves you, right? Maybe, look, we may not have met ever before, but I hope that you feel like what I say is genuine in my belief in what is possible. That is just me, and hopefully it comes across that way. I might push up against your boundaries at times, and I do not apologize for that, because I like to ask questions you to think and question your beliefs about yourself. But maybe if you look through the eyes of me, what would I say? If you look through the eyes of maybe a family member or a brother or a sibling, a best friend, even your pet, what would they say as your qualities and your celebrations? You see, what we're doing here is a process of perceptual positions. We're perceiving ourselves from a different position, usually looking through the eyes of someone else, but we can look through the eyes of many different things, because you're tricking your unconscious mind to look through that place and therefore have a different perspective. So if you have any trouble with this, look through the eyes of someone else who loves you, who likes you, who admires you. There's always someone, even if we don't believe it. Try it out and look for those qualities. Look for those celebrations. They're always there, and they might be small at first, but if we're going to build that belief table and prop up the legs of that tabletop, we want to look for the evidence. We want to look for the counter evidence of what we are going through. When you do that, you're building a new psychology, and you're getting your unconscious mind to look for a different perception. So, what else can we do? We talked about our qualities, we talked about our celebrations. Well, maybe we can do some, based on those, we can do an equation, right? What can we do as an equation? Just coming to my mind now. So, if we add the qualities with the celebrations, what could that create for you? What can that mean for you? Maybe it could mean that you actually have an opportunity to change. Maybe it equates that maybe that goal and dream that you have about yourself, that you can go ahead and then bring it to life. Now, you might be thinking about your big goals and dreams and things like that are too big for you. But look, we're birthing something great. We're not birthing something small. So therefore, it can take time. This is the momentum that we're looking for, the small steps which create the big leaps. But be decisive, be resourceful, be dedicated. Look for the opportunity when you think of those qualities, when you think of those celebrations, those wins that you have. What could it possibly mean for your future? When it comes to your finances, if you add them together, maybe those qualities will have some resilience there. Maybe there'll be some confidence there. It may not actually say, look, I'm absolutely going to solve the issue. But it's momentum. It's a difference. It's something that we can do with the work that we can put in to be able to get to where we want to be. So notice that, become that, and consider, if I add my new evidence based on celebration, based on quality, what could that mean to you? What could that equate for you in the future? So we're stacking things, we're multiplying things from the new evidence to the future evidence of what is possible. Now, let's add our final leg to the table. So right now, we've thought about the evidence, we've thought about the celebrations, the wins in our life. We've equated those together to create the other leg of what is maybe possible for us in the future if we were to utilize those things. Well, the third or the fourth leg would be looking for other people who have done what you've wanted to do or what you would like to achieve. And there's a couple of ways that we can do this. Now, I'm really big into modeling excellence and then trying to reinstall it within myself or install it within someone else. So if there's someone out there who is very successful at something, I want to get into their mind. I want to be able to model their experience. And then I want to be able to reproduce it for myself if it's of value, and also of my clients. Like one of the things I do for my program, I felt like an imposter. I felt like I wasn't enough, but I had a big goal and dream to be successful. I wanted to really let it go. And I eventually found the way of doing so. So therefore, I have the system of doing just that. And especially as I evolved it over the years and expanding it and making it so much of a no-brainer decision to just do, no matter what the investment, because it multiplies back in return of that freedom and all the things that we do, that is one way of modeling. You find someone who's overcome something that you're going through, and therefore you now have more evidence that it's possible. Now, the closer you get to that person, like we could, for example, think of people who we just cannot meet. Some people, maybe even in the past, and they've literally passed over, and therefore you can't really speak to them anymore. But we can still start to model them. We can still start to see that actually they've achieved something what we want, and therefore it is possible for us because someone else has done and replicated it. Now, of course, there could be other people in the real world that you just cannot be connected to. Well, reading the biographies. I love reading business and entrepreneurial and life-changing experiences because I predominantly work with business and career people in my business. So I love that. That fuels me, but I get to learn at a distance. Also, you can then maybe work with someone in person. If they've achieved it, you can contact them, you can ask questions, you can do what they did to let go of what you're going through or to get what you want. But whatever it is, whether it be from a far distance to really up close and personal to get the direct contact and solution, no matter where you are on the spectrum, you can allow that to be more evidence that it's possible. At the further spectrum of just modeling from a distance, you at least get evidence, which is adding to that belief table, right? So now we're going, well, I've got the evidence of my qualities, we got the evidence of my wins and celebrations. We're adding those to maybe what does that mean as in a third leg of the equation of combining those two things, and at the worst case scenario of just simply modeling someone from a distance. That, at the very least, is going to multiply your confidence. It's going to allow you to seek out new evidence that will allow you to be really free of the old way of being. So, the other extension, let's just go for the advanced version of that. Like I said, one spectrum is distance learning. The other close one-to-one, the group aspect, would therefore then be more of how do I let it go, right? That's the how, because you're in direct contact with them. You're literally using their philosophies to be able to mimic within yourself unconsciously and weave it deep into the unconscious mind to break you free. So that is the advanced version. That's for someone who's really, really ready to go all in on something. But at the very least, you have an opportunity to do this for yourself by coming up with your own belief table. Stacking those up each and every day is going to look for more evidence of achieving what you desire. I hope that makes sense, because what it should mean to you is that freedom, right? That's what we're after. It's going to create more belief, which creates the confidence, which then shows up in our environment. Therefore, we get the new results, which then becomes the real evidence of knowing who you are. Someone who finally gets to the point of going, and I think about this sometimes, where I felt so lost. Like I felt such like an imposter in my own body. Like I was gonna get found out. But I had a desire, I had a passion, I had a dream. And even though I didn't have like clear clarity over it, but like I knew I wanted to make something out of my life. And when we get to that point of like going, wow, this is really something that does not serve me anymore, and I'm ready to let it go. I'm ready to give that up and create a new story for me, because ultimately we're not broken, we're not unfixable. It is just a mistake that the body has made to believe it to be true. But if we let go of those beliefs which no longer serve us, we can finally have the financial abundance because we're doing more, we're going for that promotion, we're getting the career, we're getting the business, we're doing what we love each and every day, coming from a place of self-certainty to experience what we desire. So go and build your own table, your belief table with those legs, and therefore maybe you want to go even more than that. Like I said, the real up front is my premium program, which you can go ahead and look at the webinar, which is josephclough.info/power. Let go of all the imposter syndrome, let go of all the self-doubt. It is, like I said, a premium program. You let it all go within 8 weeks. You get the real support from me. You get to speak with me. We get to resolve these issues. It's just tailored to your needs in a very, very customized way. So it is really not for everyone. And I say that because I don't want to work with everyone. I just want to work with the most committed people, success-driven people who just want to let go of that imposter syndrome of being found out, maybe not feeling enough or worthy to get it. Because I know how to solve that. So only for the real highly committed people. Because like I said, I want people to be as committed as I am. So that's josephclough.info/power. And finally though, we've got the Unlimited Confidence virtual seminar happening on the 20th and the 21st November. It is only for $97 US. 2 whole days working with me on this virtual seminar. In other words, through the comfort of your own home to work on releasing which no longer serves you. I really believe when you start to really work on yourself and that momentum and that kind of one whole weekend, you will make some of the most beautiful breakthroughs of finally discovering what is truly possible. Every time we've done this event in person, it is simply breathtaking to see everyone changing with each other. It is absolutely fantastic, and I highly recommend it. It's the only one I'm going to do it this year. It might be the only one we ever do in a virtual experience. We shall see. But it is at josephclough.info/event, and therefore you can start to receive all the benefits of doing so. Ask yourself, what would it feel like to suddenly be so self-certain each and every single day, to really feel powerful, to really feel free? How would that have an effect on your relationship? Or maybe a new one coming your way? How would it have an effect on your business, your career, your finances? All of those things. Now, if you tell me that being totally unlimitedly confident will do nothing, then it's definitely not for you. But if you feel like you'd go, well, actually, that $97 US could actually be the breakthrough I'm looking for. And if I were to feel so good within myself in just one weekend, I would just go ahead and do it. josephclough.info/event. And with that, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon on the next one. So many thanks and goodbye.